All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Trans Nation Esports, the America Series. This is the Sunday night group. This is the season finale. We are at Abu Dhabi. My name is Arebigga. I am here back for my second week in a row. And alongside me, once again, is Top Gun. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be here for this season finale. You're going to have a good fight for the championship here.
Yeah, so the championship tied going into the final race. Big stuff.
Yep, that's between Disco Stubert and Chargers 1000. So two quick drivers. I know they're both hungry for a championship. I know they're both ready to fight for it here tonight.
And then you see Chargers leaving the pit lane quite early here. Just got caught behind an Alpha. So we'll stick with Chargers for the outlap here. We'll probably get his hot lap on the board first. Looks like Disco Stewart opting for the mediums at this moment. Has not left yet. So, yeah. Pretty good racing last week. It was my first time broadcasting. I enjoyed myself. So back again for the season finale here. It's Abu Dhabi. Always a good finale to the season. It sort of has it's got its feel now as sort of the season finale. It's been at the end of the calendar for quite some time. But yeah, looking forward to it. And the Constructors battle also very close as well between Red Bull and Haas. There's only 1 point between them, so it's something else we'll keep an eye on for you during the Grand Prix. See how that is going to shape up at the end. It's qualifying underway. 2 minutes almost ticked off, and we've got Chargers still tucked in behind that Alpha. You definitely don't want to be doing your hot lap then. It looks like he's finally making the move to overtake, so Chargers will be our first hot lap of the session, it looks like. Quite fitting given that he is fighting for the championship tonight. We're on board with Chargers. We will stay on board with Chargers for this. We'll ride on that T-cam, and we will take off all the other junk on the screen there. Get a nice clean lap for you. I'll leave the lap data up though, just so you can see that. So here comes Chargers into turn one. Looking pretty smooth there. Probably a little tentative, just making sure he makes the corner clean. Carrying a good amount of pace up the hill here. Shifting it up into 7th gear on the apex and the crest. And dropping it down into 3rd for the chicane. Drops another gear just to slow that car a little bit more. Looking like he's carrying some pretty good pace through this quick little corkscrew section. Really good exit off the hairpin there too. Looking fast here. DRS should be wide open now. See him barreling down the straight. Heavy on those brakes and gets the car stopped nicely. Looking very tidy. See what he can do with his Sector 2 time here. 58 flat. Obviously, we don't have much of a benchmark at this point. We'll bring up that information for you once more. As we wrap up the first hot lap of the session, we'll jump back to that Alpha behind. Did you catch who that was? Is it, I guess it's Slim Tootie? The only one here.
Yes, it was Slim Tootie.
That's a great name. The real Slim Tootie, apparently.
Yeah, the one and only.
So Chargers, see what kind of time he sets here. I don't remember what a good qualifying lap time is here, but 36.5 is the benchmark here. Let's check in with a real Slim Tootie. He gets a 36.4, so he's out-qualified Chargers for the time being. Not Apollo, 36.8 in that racing point. We have a Mercedes coming around here. It looks like that's Foxhound about to put up a lap time. 35 flat from Foxhound. That is an impressive lap time. He is a 1.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field easily there. Hell of a lap, I have to say. That's quite the benchmark early here. Also rocking that black helmet. Support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously, the protest still ongoing, but change is coming. Things are being pushed through, trending in the right direction, so for those of you that have been out there, keep fighting. Checking with another driver here. We've got Jonathan Dunk making his way through for a hot lap here. He's in the 3rd sector at the moment, so let's stick with him and see how he does. Disco Stubert with a 36.3 on the mediums. He's outqualified Chargers on the harder compound, so that's a pretty good start for Stubert in his championship bid this evening. Jonathan Dunk, 36.5, so kind of hanging around the middle of the field there. Nothing too impressive, but a solid lap nonetheless. Looks like Chargers heading into the pits here. A couple other guys behind probably also coming into the pits. Let's check him with that Renault. I'm not sure where he is at. Gaff, he's on a hot lap at the moment, it looks like. I guess that's Randy Ver, but he's invalidated. So let's jump to Castle Racing. There we go. See on a push lap he is. Let's ride with Castle Racing for the final sector. Oh, I'm surprised he got away with that. Looked like a cut to me. It's not got the engine turned up though, so maybe not on a push lap yet. Heading into the pits. Okay, so he's already put a time up. Just heading in.
Looks like we got Dilligaff putting in a competitive lap.
Yeah, I'll jump to him in a moment. It looks like Lit Romney's rounding the final couple turns here for his hot lap, and then we'll jump to Dilligaff after that. Lit Romney into the final 2 turns. A little apprehensive. Actually, sorry, he is heading into the pits. I really got to check on that. I tried with Dilligaff. It's looking like a good time. 36.3, so that's a pretty good lap time, but nowhere near Foxhound. Iceman has put up a 35.6. That is the closest we've seen, and he's still almost 7/10 off. But Romney actually with a pretty good lap time there, 36 flat, so he's up into 3rd for the time being. A little bit of a short field today, so some points on offer for almost everybody. You know, I'm not sure what your guys' reserve rules are, but I don't know if any guys in the field that don't actually count at the results, or...
Yeah, they don't. They count towards the constructors' results, but drivers can't score points.
Yeah, like if they're filling in from another group, they won't score
right.
Points.
But the points will still go towards the constructor standings.
Oh, that's interesting. Looks like we got 4 people. Oh, RP Mazing.
Oh, we got a crash.
Oh, yeah, he went into the barrier hard there. You see him on the exit there. I was just riding on board with Klunberg, so we actually got a pretty nice shot of that. Klunberg is about to start a flyer, so I think we'll stick with Klunberg for this hot lap. In that Toro Rosso car, it's always a nice looking car. One of the better ones in the field, I think. Like that color on the back, that nice like aqua. On one side it says Cola, I guess? I don't know what it says. Pretty sharp looking helmet too, Klunberg. It's like green and blue. Any of my fans of my commentary know how much I appreciate a good helmet. So we got time. So he's 57.6 in Sector 2. I recall that being quicker than what Chargers had set. So he could be trending towards the top 5 lap time here. See what he can do. Looking steady here as he approaches the final few turns. The place where RP Amazing lost it, you can kind of see how it's very easy to just slide away into the wall there. Klingberg crosses the line with a 36.1 up into 4th, so yeah, was looking good for a top 5, slides right in.
Really good lap for him.
Jonathan Dunk starting a flyer. Let's jump to Chargers. Looks like he's about to wrap up a hot lap. Let's see what he can do. He needs a big improvement here if he wants to fight with Stubert for that title. And good on the exit, 35.7, so Chargers jumps ahead of Stubert. He's on the softs, and it looks like Stubert on those mediums is he's gonna have to come out and set another lap time on the softs to get ahead of his rival Chargers.
He's out on the softs now, and he just went purple through the second sector, so he's looking good.
Let's get to the other championship contender this evening, Disco Stubert. We're right on board with him. See how he does through the final sector. Carrying a lot of pace here into this tricky right-hander.
Foxhound improves again. 34.7.
34.7, that's an impressive lap. Nearly a second faster than the guy in second, who's a few tenths up on the other drivers.
Let's see what Stort's got.
35 flat for Disco Stu. He is up into second. Now that is a great lap time. He's 7 tenths up on Chargers, just what he needed there. And fight is on. It looks like these two are going to be duking it out at the front of the grid here for that title. I mean, it's a deadlock. It's whoever's ahead on track is the winner. That's the end of it, right? So it's a legitimate head-to-head battle for the title. There's no math to do. There's no I need to finish here, he needs to finish there. It's just beat him on track. And at the moment, advantage to Disco Stubert. Some 2D on a lap. Looks like he maybe. Nope, his battery's turned down. Let's try someone else. Sebi. Looks like he is on a flyer. Let's ride with Sebi here. Just making his way down the long DRS straight. Carried a lot of pace through that corner. That was well done. It's looking like a really good lap on these mediums. Definitely what he would be hoping for. Starting in the top 10 on the mediums, you can have a pretty good Grand Prix here, I think. 37.4 for Sebi, so it doesn't improve. Must have had a difficult moment early in the lap that I missed. There's Dilligaff. Looks like he's on a push lap right now. Caught his lap early too, or just started it, so we can ride for the entirety of this lap, and then we'll do a little jumping around there to try and catch all the hot laps at the end of the session here, especially Stu and Chargers. Definitely have to be keeping an eye on them. Ooh, nearly goes off the track there. I think they'd invalidate you for it too, which is really frustrating, but perfect there. Doesn't use any of the curving, gets a nice smooth exit. Looks like a solid lap here, at least on board. Yeah, he's up 4 tenths on his previous run. That will put him into about 6th or 5th. So just needs to be consistent here on the end, and he can easily improve to a top 5 start here. .35.6, Dilligaff goes into 4th. He edges out Chargers, which is good news for Disco Stu. That's another spot between the two drivers. Chargers got some work to do. He needs to improve. He's sitting in the garage currently. He's probably going to be thinking about heading out soon. Wonder if he would consider taking extra fuel. Oh, he's leaving now. Wonder if he would consider taking a little extra fuel out at this point, just in case the first lap is a flub. He can kind of take another crack at it. Disco Stubert is out there on an outlap at the moment. It's actually ahead on road of Chargers, so we will check in with them shortly. It looks like Apollo has retired in the pits. He's had enough for this session. Do we have anyone on a flyer up the road here? We got a Toro Rosso making his way around. That would be Kluenberg. He's on an outlap. So he's going to get his flyer going a little early here. Keep an eye on Kluenberg. Looks like that racing point heading in. So we got Kluenberg.
I think we got Slim Tootie on a lap too.
Yeah, and then behind them, Stubert and Chargers on their flyers behind. So let's ride with Kluenberg for the time being until we get our championship contenders on their hot lap run. Is Tootie currently on a lap?
He is. It says out lap, but
yeah,
he's got the battery all the way up.
Fair. Stick with Kluenberg for the time being, but Disco Stubert, sitting second currently, is about to cross the line in his bid for the Trans Nation Esports Championship tonight. We're going to jump to Disco Stubert, and then we will check in with Chargers as soon as Stubert wraps up his lap. We are on board with Disco Stu, one of your championship contenders. Oh, and he's invalidated his lap, so he's had to back out of that, and he's not going to have time to get back around for another run here. So Disco Stubert, his qualifying ends early here. He is done. Here comes Chargers. So it's all in Chargers' hands now. Disco Stubert cannot improve his time. Chargers just has to beat his lap time, and he can start the Grand Prix with a leg up on his rival. Let's see what he can do here.
Your story, you just gotta hope that Chargers can improve.
I mean, 7/10 is a lot, but
out.
We'll see. We'll see what Chargers can put up here at the end of Sector 2, and we'll have an idea of how much more he needs. He was up a 10th. What will he be up in the second sector? If he has a couple more tenths in hand here, I think he has a crack at it, but I would say Disco Stu might be safe there with 7/10 in hand. Oh, he's almost 4.5 tenths up in a big lockup for Chargers. That's going to hurt his time. He may have just lost a tenth or two on that lockup, but he's trending towards a top 3 start here. Let's see if he can secure it. Even if he starts right behind Stewart, that's a pretty nice redemption. Good place to be. Here comes Chargers. Just a few turns to go. Can he hook it up? Can he go for second? Oh, big snap there on the exit. And a 35.4, he goes into 4th, so that's not good enough. He couldn't edge out Iceman. Those little errors cost him just enough that he couldn't start right behind Disco Stubert. He's going to be he'll be right behind Disco Stubert, but 2 positions behind. So let's check in with Iceman here. What's he doing? His lap is invalidated. Do we have anybody else on a flyer? Foxhound looks like he is coming around. He is up, so he will improve.
I'm not showing his lap was invalidated, but he went 3 seconds slower.
Oh, okay.
It does look like Foxhound's looking to go faster, though.
His battery is empty. There he goes, 34.5.
Faster.
Anybody else on a flyer here? Lit Romney, potentially. It looks like he is on a lap. Yeah, he's up a couple tenths here. That would be enough. He could jump to a top 5 start if he finds a tenth or two here. Kluenberg is just ahead there, I believe.
Couldn't improve.
Jump. Lit Romney improves 1 spot there, so good little jump for him. We'll just review the order here once we get the menu. Lit Romney also rocking the black helmet tonight as well. Alright, Foxhound on pole. Disco Stubert, huge advantage tonight heading into that championship. Disco Stubert starts second. Iceman is in 3rd. Chargers is 4th. Dilligaff is 5th. Jonathan Dunk is 6th. Lit Romney starts 7th. El Joker starts 8th. The Real Slim Tootie starts 9th. Kluenberg F1 is 10th. Not Apollo is 11th. Sebi is 12th. Castle Racing 13th. RP Amazing is 14th. And Randy Ver will start 15th. Looks like he was having some connectivity issues. potentially an early retirement if you can't get that sorted. I will be back in one quick moment. All right, this is it. The formation lap is underway. The season finale for Trans Nation Esports, the America Series, Sunday evening. It's going to be a good one. Disco Stubert and Chargers 1000 are deadlocked for the championship. They start second and fourth. Obviously going to have our eyes on those two for most of the evening. But beyond that, we're just hoping for a good race up and down the field here and lots of action. Last week was pretty solid. My first time commentating here, and there's some really good action through the field. So I'm looking forward to another good evening of racing here, and hopefully I get to call a head-to-head championship battle here. That would be a lot of fun for me.
And also, we only have one Haas and one Red Bull in the field tonight, so that's going to be your constructors battle as well. I think Haas had by 1 point, so these two guys are going to be the deciding factor in both championships tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever finishes ahead wins the driver and constructors title for their team. So, very, very exciting Grand Prix. We are on the heels of the start, and this is going to be a good one. Let's check in with the stream here. I have not been in the chat yet. Pretty good audience at the moment. Bigger gone for a quick smash. Not quite, my friend. A refill. Can't be messing with my voice when I need to commentate. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's like second and fourth. It's pretty close. And I think from what I remember last week, Chargers seem to have pretty good race pace, so he's definitely going to be a threat from fourth. I mean, he's starting literally behind his championship rival, Disco Stubert. So the top five rounding the final corner to retake their grid slots. We have 15 cars out here tonight for the season finale, and we're looking for a good race here. Nice clean battles, and we want to see who comes out on top. Disco Stubert versus Chargers 1000 for the Trans Nation Esports Sunday evening America Series championship title. The lights will be on any moment, and we are going to get this thing underway. Good luck to Disco Stu, good luck to Chargers, and good luck to the rest of the field. They're really taking their time with the lights here.
Oh no, they may have gotten stuck.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that might have happened too.
There was a disconnect in the middle of the transition to the race, so that's usually what does it.
Yeah. Well, I would say at this point it's pretty much looks like we're pretty much gonna have to call this thing. I was getting all hyped up and stuff. Now I'm gonna have to. I guess we can just leave the broadcast going. So
Getting reports that they are stuck on the grid.
Yeah. I think you guys got to call it. Even if it starts now, there's going to be people that aren't ready. Like, it's axe it. remake the lobby.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo it.
I can... Oh, hang on, let me get to... Oh, what the hell?
I don't know what just happened.
The race just started, I guess? I don't know. It looks like somebody's... Oh, here it goes. Here go the lights. Are we gonna go?
I don't know.
Well, the race is underway. Lights are out. It looks like we are going. I'm not sure. I don't know if someone made the call to pull the plug, but...
No formation lap, so a little untraditional start there.
No, the formation lap had finished, and then it got stuck between formation and the race.
Right.
Nonetheless,
it's so
Chargers...
long ago, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Klunberg and Jonathan Dunk around.
Chargers has lost ground here, so he's down into 6th, and Disco Stubert maintains 2nd. So at the moment, it's looking good for Disco Stu. Looks like Chargers going to have some work to do. So apologies for the little delay there on the start. I wasn't quite sure what we would be doing. It looks like there's 2 cars at the back there that they got collected, I guess.
Yes, it was Klunberg and Jonathan Dunk. Looks like they came together.
And looks like Joker is ahead of Chargers for the time being, but Chargers taking a look at the back there. He needs to get through here. He doesn't have to do anything terribly desperate, but he doesn't want to lose touch with Disco Stu as he has to finish ahead of him. So off to a shaky start here for Chargers. Behind, it looks like we have a battle here. Sebi overtaking Slim Tootie. Slim Tootie on that curving into the braking zone. He's going to run very deep there. That's going to hurt him. Oh, and he came back on quite close to that racing point. I'm not sure if they made contact or not, but looked very close to being a good whack there. Chargers applying the pressure here to Joker. He's trying to find a way through. While Disco Stubert is falling away from Foxhound, but is under pressure from Iceman. So that is good news for Chargers, is that Disco Stubert will be pushed a little bit further back towards him. If Iceman can get that move. Let's jump up to the battle ahead. Try to get a broadcast view. You can see a little bit more going on here. Oh, someone is out. Castle Racing is out. Are we going to have a safety car for that? It looks like he's got way off the road there. VSC, so that's going to neutralize the race for the time being. Someone always ends up gaining an advantage no matter what, but let's see what happens here. So Dilligaff looks like he's urging Iceman to get up the road. Disco Stubert has gained time on Iceman for the time being. So should be getting racing again in a moment. And we'll see if Disco Stubert can break that DRS. If he can break DRS away from Iceman, he would be in a pretty secure spot for the title. We are green once more. And looks like nobody really gained a big advantage over another driver there. Just looking through the field, the gaps didn't grow substantially. So Iceman still tripping away at Disco Stubert. Dilligaff closing in because of that. And behind, Joker and Charger starting to close as well. Very wide there from Iceman, getting a little loose on the curb. He's really applying the pressure to Stubert here. Stubert, I don't know. If I had to give advice at this point, I don't know what I would say. I mean, you don't want to fight too much because you lose time and just drift towards Chargers. But I mean, if you let the guy in front of you, you're more than likely going to get pushed back to Chargers anyways.
Yeah, well, he's got 3 cars between him and his championship rival, so for him, that's exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to have DRS going down this straight. Let's see what he can do with it.
So Disco Stubert closing actually on the car ahead without the DRS. He's actually got a shot at first place here. He's sending it down the inside, but he backs out of that. Doesn't want to force it.
Wise decision.
Yeah,
you gotta keep your nose clean.
You really don't want to force anything when you're fighting for a title, and your teammate is...
he might have a shot here.
Here he comes. That DRS, he's gone down the inside. Disco Stubert is overtaking Foxhound for the lead. He is into first place. Disco Stubert's bid for the championship is looking very good at the moment. Charger's still stuck behind Joker, and he's actually almost lost touch and is about to lose DRS if he doesn't close that gap back down. So there's your race leader, Disco Stubert, looking sharp for a title here. Looks like Foxhound's going to have a really good crack back at him, and they're actually bringing the other drivers into play here. This is bad news for Disco Stubert. He's actually going to be a sitting duck now, I feel. Well, these cars behind with DRS just close. And if you see the gap there, you can even visually see that Joker and Chargers are basically about to join this pack. So we're going to have the top 6 all within a second of each other here. With championship on the line, Disco Stubert has a lot to fight for out front. Runs a bit wide there. Foxhound and Iceman applying the pressure behind. And Dilligaff trying to close as well. Joker just losing a little bit of ground to them. Foxhound looking for a little bit of space, trying to find a way through here. He's going to have a really good crack down this DRS
gets a
zone.
really good exit right there.
Just what he needs. I think despite the exit, he's going to be in trouble regardless. It's a very, very long straight here, and another DRS follows quickly. So he may not get it done here. The Mercedes driver looking, but backs out of that. Foxhound trying to find a way through here. He's going to have another... Disco Stubert got a really good exit there. That might be enough to defend this time around, but as you see, Foxhound closing very quickly. Disco Stubert just parking it on the racing line. There's really nothing Foxhound can do there. He has to run deep and compromise his line, and Disco Stubert actually, it looks like maybe lifted out of that because he felt he forced Foxhound wide, maybe? I'm not sure. But I think it was clean. It was a bit racy, but didn't seem dirty. Whoa, big crash there!
Oh, man.
Someone behind is Dilligaff. He's slid into the back of Iceman there. And nearly took him out, and actually managed to save the car pretty well there. That's pretty surprising. Dilligaff actually got out and kept it ahead of Chargers, given that he was nearly completely sideways into that right-hander.
Yeah, very tough corner to get your braking right, especially when you're right behind somebody.
Oh yeah, it's
everybody seems to brake at a different point through into that corner, so it's tough to judge what the guy in front of you is going to do.
So Chargers now with another... Oh, Dilligaff has spun it! He's gone! Dilligaff is off. He's into the wall hard. I thought that might happen. I saw that back end step out on the crest of the hill there, and it just never looked like it was coming back. So Dilligaff gets it turned around. He's still in the points, which is not bad, but he's got a lot of work to do now, and he's going to be in trouble. Here comes Joker on the back of Iceman, who also has DRS to help him defend this. And you see Joker pull out of that slipstream and just kind of lose his ground now. He can't really close the way he would like. Can he do it under braking, though? Joker sends it down the inside late, and the Williams, worrying about the cars in front, had to leave space, but he couldn't get the move done. Iceman has closed the door, and Joker is going to have to wait another lap.
And Chargers is loving this, watching the top 4 battle like this, and he could see his championship rival right there in front of him.
Disco Stubert with the DRS. Oh, Disco Stubert nearly contacted by Foxhound there. That was a close call. And it looks like Iceman's made it back ahead of Joker. They're still wheel-to-wheel here, these two. Wow, side by side through the corner, and neither driver yielding to the other. Joker finally takes the place. Oh, big contact there.
Joker
Iceman is
around.
slammed into Joker. Iceman has completely locked up and smashed Joker off the track into the wall. That was a very bad incident. Completely unintentional, in my opinion, but just very sloppy driving.
And Chargers, just by watching people in front of him go off, he's up into 3rd.
Exactly. At this point, not good enough, but if you can get in the DRS range of Disco Stubert, we're going to see these two duke it out head-to-head. I don't think there's much pace between these two, to be honest, at this point. I think a head-to-head scrap is going to be a very close battle. We could see this right down to the wire here tonight.
Don't look now, but Sebi in P4 is on the medium tire, so he's on that alternative strategy.
That is going to work out nicely for him.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what he could do later in this race.
Looks like Joker's gotten disqualified. I don't know if he lost the car again and got stuck somewhere, or...
Yeah, not sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll get some kind of update.
But your closest battle at the moment is Chargers has just overtaken Foxhound. And if he can break this DRS, because Sebi behind is actually going to start applying the pressure to Foxhound shortly, so that could play out in Charger's favor. But at the moment, Charger's going to be under threat for a little while. Well, Disco Stubert scampers away ahead. He's got a 3-second lead now. Charger's losing time to Disco Stubert, while Foxhound is not letting up.
Yeah, it's going to be
Disco Stubert, did you see the snap there? The back end completely stepped out on him. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time. So Disco Stubert with a bit of a moment there. He just caught, the camera just caught it as it was waiting for Chargers to round the bend.
Yeah, this is going to be real interesting.
Chargers in.
Oh, we got Chargers going for the undercut.
Foxhound has followed him into the pit, so... Oh, and they nearly touched... Oh, Foxhound's picked up damage. He hit the back of Chargers into the pit entry. You really can't do that. And he's got the wing damage, and he's got it replaced somehow quickly. That was impressive that they actually did that. Chargers onto the mediums. Foxhound onto the mediums as well. So the pit window is open. Let's see what these drivers can do. Let's watch Disco Stubert. Needs to do something special here if he wants to maintain his gap. Let's see where Chargers feeds out. Is he in traffic? He might get out in clear air here. This is going to play out nicely for Chargers. Yeah, he's got a bit of clear air. He's got Klumberg ahead.
Gap. So Stewart's got to put in a really good lap here and pit immediately.
So, Klumberg and Lit Romney are right ahead here. Chargers catching them quickly. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to get through too easily with two cars with DRS ahead. Let's see what he can do. He's trailing on to these guys now. But Disco Stubert probably has to think about pitting regardless, because now Chargers has caught this bunch. So he's already starting to lose time now. Now Disco Stubert may actually have an advantage by pitting now. Chargers has made it by Lit Romney here. So he's got one of the cars out of the way. But he's going to be losing time here while he's battling. So if Disco Stubert actually pits now, Chargers may have lost his advantage that he would have gained from the undercut. But he's through. Chargers through, so he's into clear air now. He's been released. He's got 2 seconds to the driver ahead, Jonathan Dunk. Disco Stubert, decision time. See what he does. He stays out.
So what I'm wondering here is if Chargers is going to try a 2-stop as opposed to a 1-stop. Because 21 laps on the mediums here is a pretty tall task.
That's what it seems like.
Stewart stays out again.
See,
maybe he's thinking 1-stop.
Well, at this point, Chargers is just going to be catching traffic and then may burn his tires out doing so. At this point, Stubert has an 8-second cushion behind him. Why not just stay out, let that gap shrink very slowly, manage those tires, get out on the mediums. You'll have them much fresher than Chargers will, and you will likely get them to the end of the Grand Prix as well. I think Disco Stubert might be going for the long run here. There's no reason not to. No one's going to slow him down. He can manage the pace perfectly himself.
Yeah, no, there's nothing better than some clean air, so he can just keep his head down, not make any mistakes. I think this is the right call.
Yeah, it just depends what kind of pace he has, but he is maintaining the gap to Sebi at the moment. Like, if that gap starts to shrink substantially, then he needs to consider pitting, but at the moment, he's actually growing the gap to Sebi, so Disco Stubert seems to have some life left in those softs. And so long as he can keep a cushion to the drivers behind, I think he might be okay. Because Chargers is probably within his pit window now. But, as you mentioned, Chargers going 21 laps on those mediums. He's either going to really lose pace, or he's going to have to pit again. So it's just a matter of how much you let Chargers close before you decide to call it. Or you could even go to the hards and just guarantee that you're going to the end. Not the greatest tire at this track, though. The hards are quite slow here.
Yeah, I would definitely... I think he should stretch it until he could get to the mediums to the end.
Yeah, again, if he can keep about a 20-second gap to Chargers, even if he comes out 5 seconds behind Chargers on fresh mediums, he's going to have an advantage. So,
yeah,
I think it's a good call.
If he's going to do one less stop, he effectively has that advantage already. So Chargers would have to get by him and pull out a 20-second or however long the pit delta is.
Exactly.
Worth the gap.
Has dove into the pits. He's 8-lap-old softs. He's getting off those. RP Amazing has gone wide there. A little bit of a moment for him. Let's check him with Chargers. What's he doing? Looks like he's just kind of managing his tires, not seeming to be pushing too hard, controlling the gap at the moment. He is starting to take a bit of time out of Disco Stubert now, so he's gotten about 2 seconds in hand over him over the last lap. So Disco Stubert needs to start considering a pit strategy at this point. Say Chargers takes a second a lap out of you at this point. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what Chargers can do. And I don't know, like, really the context of their driving styles and how long either driver can make tires go, but it's quite interesting at this point. We've got different strategies, and they're both fighting for the title.
Yeah, I think this is going to be tough for Stewart because if he stays out much longer, he's going to end up behind Chargers, which you don't want to do, but he's got to be disciplined and know that most likely he's got that pit stop advantage. I mean,
Yeah,
there's also no guarantees.
You don't want to have to make an overtake on your championship rival.
If I do remember correctly, Chargers went a very long way on the mediums in Mexico a couple weeks back, so he may very well be trying to go to the end on this strategy.
Yeah.
But based off of what I would do, I don't think he can make it this far.
I wouldn't think so either, but again, like, he has to be taking a lot more time at a Disco Stubert. If he is going to one stop with these mediums, he needs to be closing a bit quicker than this, I think. Even if it's a 10-second gap and Stubert comes out with 10 seconds behind on the mediums, but 10 laps fresher, he's going to have a huge advantage.
We got a 16-second gap.
Yeah, so it is shrinking about a second a lap, roughly. Maybe a little more than that, even like a second and a half, even. Yeah, he's just taking tenths out of him now. So let's check.
So we had not Apollo pit for another set of softs, so he's committed to the two-stop. Also, Kluenberg and Randy, which I believe that is an AI car.
So, who just pit for softs? Not Apollo, just pit for softs. What was he on?
Yes. He
Softs.
started on the softs, so he's committed to the two-stop. He's going to have to pit again.
But if he's going to go even less laps on the mediums at the end than he does on the softs by doing this. If he goes 10 and 10 on softs, right? Like, that's silly. Why not go mediums right now and just see what happens?
Yeah, I think I would have tried the mediums to see how long they would
Disco
go.
Stubert's pit. I missed that. He's dove into the pits. He's got onto the medium tire. And it looks like Charger's well ahead here. So Disco Stubert's lost out a lot of time here. Probably just could not get the pace he needed. Oh, is he going to come out in front here? Disco Stubert, he needs to stay ahead of Slim Tootie here. He does not need to be trying to overtake more cars at this point. Slim Tootie tucks in behind, and it looks like Disco Stubert's got to overtake Foxhound on his way back to Chargers here. Chargers, 4 laps, is that really a huge advantage here? Is it Disco Stubert? Does he have 4 laps worth of pace in him there? I don't think he does. Here he comes, though, with that DRS. He's going to get by Foxhound quick here. Fresh mediums absolutely clears him here, and this is crucial for Disco Stubert's race. He needs to break away from DRS here and start chasing down Chargers. 4 laps, around a longer lap like this, I think that is I think it'll be a noticeable advantage, but is it enough to close the gap?
Well, every lap does count, and I think those 4 laps are going to be the difference for, being able to get to the end.
Yeah, that's true. Could see a puncture.
We'll see. We'll see what that tire advantage does in terms of pace. These next few laps are going to tell the tale pretty clearly.
And he's got a direct rival comparison here with Foxhound, right? Like, Foxhound on 4-lap older tires. Can he hang with Disco Stubert? Disco Stubert does not need to be exchanging places with drivers at this point. He needs to be getting away. So he's seeing his championship sort of drive away off into the distance. He is closing on Chargers a little bit. He's taking tenths out of his time, so I think Stubert might be okay here. He's got a lot of time to close. And it was very important they got by Foxhound quickly there. I think he's far enough ahead that he can probably cover this off, though. Like, Foxhound will still have DRS, but is he going to be close enough? It doesn't look like it. Stubert gets an excellent launch.
9/10 back.
Yeah, he got an excellent launch out of that exit there and actually gained 2/10. And Foxhound not closing at all. He is not able to close, even with the DRS. He's barely gaining. So I think Stubert's cleared him. It looks like he's going to be safe here. Stubert doing what he needs to do for his title bid this evening. He is now under 5 seconds away from Chargers up the road. The championship fight is on. Disco Stubert is on his way. Chargers will start looking in those mirrors and start to see that Haas car closing ever so slowly on him.
Yeah, and you know, this is exactly what he needs to do. The more pressure he can put on Chargers, the better, because he's gonna force him to maybe go quicker than he wants to, and that's not gonna help Chargers at all in his bid to get this set to the end, if that's what he's trying to do.
Or I think he has to at this point, right? Or you're throwing away the championship now.
Yeah, I think he's made his bed. I think this is pretty much the only...
Or if you're going to pull the plug and pit, you got to do it soon. Like, you know what I mean? That decision needs to be made relatively quickly.
He's going to have to do it early enough to where he can make use of that extra set. But the thing is I don't think he'd be able to find any gap. He'd have to overtake cars then.
Yeah, that's true. Here comes Chargers. He's caught up to Sebi now, so he's got a little bit of work to do here to take the lead of this race. Needs to find a way through here. Doesn't want to waste any more time stuck behind another car, as Disco Stubert, as I mentioned, is just taking tenths out of Chargers' time. Here comes Chargers, though, with that DRS wide open. He's covered it off, sweeps back across, and Sebi has to tuck it in. Disco Stubert now still just taking tenths out of the time, so he's got that gap down to 3.7 seconds now. Disco Stubert looking poised for a crack at the title here. He is just eating time out of Chargers. I think he's on pace here to potentially win this Grand Prix and the championship. He's looking good.
Yeah, although he's behind, I think he's looking to be the favorite right now.
Unless
hard to bet against newer tires. Yeah,
unless he's trying to go to the end on these mediums and can't make it, and Chargers are just committed to the two-stop knowing it was the right call. That's the only thing I could see happening at this point. But at this point, I think Disco Stubert is going to have the advantage on pace over Chargers. Again, he just takes another chunk of time. The tenths are just melting away. And
we got
he's taking time out of Sebi, sorry, yeah. But, yeah, no, he's starting to...
So Sebi only went 13 laps on the medium, so that could be a sign.
Yeah.
Of how long these mediums will last.
Sebi goes to the softs. I mean, he's
softs.
I don't know if he'll
get to the end on those. Yeah.
Again. It almost would have been better off going to hards at that point. In your races, you're completely off the prime strategy at this point of the Grand Prix. Just try something different. Unless he's pitting to softs twice. I mean, if he goes 7 and 7, then right.
I think he'd do softs twice.
That's what I would do. I think maybe that's why he got off the mediums early. Thought, you know what, I've had the best of these tires. I need to pit twice anyway. Let's just go for it.
Still sitting in P8. I believe he started outside the top 10s. Yeah, he must have, because he started on the medium, so it's still a gain for him.
Yeah, looking pretty sharp at the moment. Here comes Lit Romney, tucked in behind Jonathan Dunk. He's looking for an overtake here. Got his teammate Sebi just up the road ahead. Oh, looks like Lit Romney had to pull out of the side there just to make sure he didn't make contact. He closed very quickly. RP amazing behind, is pressuring Kloonberg. So still a lot of action through the field here. Checking with the front runners there. Disco Stubert is 4.4 off Chargers at this point. So lost a little bit of time there after Chargers cleared Sebi. Oh, very deep there for RP Amazing. He's gone way off road, and he's cost himself lots of time there. He's fallen away from Kloonberg. Comes Lit Romney, Jonathan Dunk again. They're scrapping with Sebi here. Oh, there's contact. That was a horrendous overtake. That was absolutely awful. I respect for slowing down and letting the guys through, but I don't know what he was thinking there. Maybe just missed his braking point and had no choice but to throw it down the inside there. Not sure
I totally missed what happened.
Jonathan Dunk in that right-hander just blasted the right side pod of Sebi there and smashed him off the road. So I think Sebi actually got away with that without damage. But Jonathan Dunk, yeah, it was just a brutal attempt at an overtake there, or he must have missed his braking point or something, because I haven't seen anything like that so far. Again, like you said, following another car, very easy to lock up in that triple right-hander down the hill. You lose a lot of grip into the braking zone, and it's very easy to send the car far too fast, and maybe he thought down the side was a little safer than the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to get it in there even when you're by yourself, so...
Yeah, exactly.
That corner is one of my few Achilles heels on any F1 circuit.
It's a tricky one for sure. It's a triple left-hander in Bahrain seems to be a big problem for a lot of people as well. I personally don't mind it that much. I find it
that's
relatively
another one
easy.
that's tough.
So here comes Lit Romney clearing his teammate Sebi here. So Lit Romney doing well in the championship as well. So he's looking to score a good handful of points and secure that third place finish in the title hunt. So good season for Lit Romney. Disco Stubert is still eating away the lap times from Chargers a bit. Oh, he's taken 7/10 out of him suddenly there or something. The times have switched again. So, but yeah, Chargers doing pretty well actually to manage that gap. It seems Disco Stubert's the prime of his tires have started to fade a little bit, and he's not able to close that gap as quickly as he was previously. I'm not sure if Chargers has been pushing a little bit, maybe to try and break his spirits a little, but got about 13 laps to go here, and Chargers has a 4-second lead. That is for the title. First and second place, fighting for the championship. It doesn't get much better than that. They are deadlocked. Winner takes all. Can Disco Stubert... He was looking like he had this race in the bag early on, and now it's starting to look a little questionable.
Yeah, I think the real difference is going to be made at the end here.
Yeah. Which Disco Stubert needs to remember. He doesn't want to make any mistakes and ruin his tires either, right?
Right. He's just got to stay consistent, keep it on the road. I don't think we've seen any notifications for penalties for either of these two, so...
I haven't, if I don't recall. You can probably check quickly, just so I don't obscure the stream. But,
I will do that for you.
We got some scraps going on back here. Looks like Lit Romney and Sebi close again. Now they've caught up to Dilligaff here. So Dilligaff now under pressure from the two McLaren drivers.
So we don't have penalties for either one of them. All I'm showing is one warning for Stubert, so...
It's not bad.
They're on an even playing field in terms of that. Oh, he just hit the gaps down to 2.7 seconds as I checked that.
So Sebi's still applying the pressure here to Lit Romney. I guess maybe Lit Romney wasn't let through, maybe just overtook him. But Sebi on a strategy where he should really be ahead. And Lit Romney holding him up, not going to do him any favors. But again, they're not really fighting for much in the constructors, those two. So not really much to watch. But what we have here is Disco Stubert has got the gap down to just about 2 seconds now. So
yeah,
the race
he's
is
catching
on.
him quick.
Yeah, the race is on here. You mentioned before 13 laps on the mediums for Sebi. So Chargers hitting 10 laps on the mediums now, maybe starting to feel a little bit of that wear. And Disco Stubert able to keep pushing these tires for another few laps. So seeing that time just evaporate at the moment. Disco Stubert is taking tenths per sector out of Chargers' time right now.
This is going to get interesting in a few laps here.
Oh, yeah. So we'll stick with this battle. I'm not going to jump away from this. There's really not much else going on in the field at the moment. Everybody's starting to spread out a little bit. So we'll keep with the broadcast view of this scrap. And, I mean, we're getting to watch a title fight right down to the end of the race in the final Grand Prix of the season. And I really think that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, we're going to see two drivers throwing it all on the line, giving it everything they got. Obviously, it's, you know, nothing's going to matter unless they win this championship. So both of them are going to put it all out there, and the best man is going to win.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's a good, clean scrap. I don't want to see any contact or any drama. I would like to see just a clear, concise winner. Hopefully it's nice, clean scrap, but you know, at the same time, you're less than 10 laps from a championship at this point. It's going to be hard not to play a little dirty, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe squeeze them 2 wheels off the track kind of thing just to make sure they don't get the exit they need. And that kind of stuff it comes out of people, you know? You get in that moment, you know how intense it is.
From racing with these guys, I know they're two clean drivers, and they're not going to overstep the boundaries. They might get obviously they're going to get aggressive.
Yeah.
They're fighting for a championship, but I don't think they're going to overstep the boundaries. I wouldn't see that out of these two.
No, I don't think either would. That's not what I want to see either. I want to see a good, clean battle, but I want to see them push the envelope. I want to see us go, is that okay? I don't know. Is it enough for a penalty? No. So he gets away with it. Who knows, man? But here we are. The DRS is about to be activated here for Disco Stewart. I think he's closed enough. No, he's just outside that second. Chargers might be safe for one more run down the straight. I do not think he's got DRS. No, he does not. So Disco Stewart, he is still closing though. That slipstream is helping him close. Chargers, I have to say, Chargers has been pushing to try and maintain this gap, I believe. And if you look at the battery here, Chargers struggling.
Not in good shape.
No, Disco Stewart has a massive advantage here.
He's also got DRS used up his
battery in a very inconvenient spot. And a huge lockup from Chargers. The pressure is mounting. Chargers now with a mirror full of Disco Stewart. Disco Stewart applying that pressure. This is for the championship title. It's head-to-head. It's first and second. These two are going to duke it out. There's really no threat from behind. Is either driver going to consider pitting here to try and gain the advantage over the other? Is there a possibility, or do you think this is just going to be a straight on-track battle? Because Chargers seems to be struggling with the grip. I don't think he's going to make it to the end.
Yeah, I think if you're either of them...
Chargers goes in.
Oh, Chargers is in.
He knows he's about to be passed. It's a good decision, I think. He's gone into the pit, so... Disco Stewart, it's all up to him now. Disco Stewart, he has 8 laps to go. He's going to have about a 20-odd second lead here. I think Disco Stewart's got this in the bag. Unless his tires completely drop off in the final few laps, I don't know how Chargers is going to close and overtake a multitude of cars on his way back to the front. I just can't see it happening.
He's gonna have to overtake 2 cars and make up a whole pit stop.
Let's check the gap to the leader here.
9
Chargers.
Laps.
I'm just gonna hold it on leader for a second. He's at 19. It's 20 seconds behind, so it's a 20-second window to the lead of the race. Can Chargers do 20 seconds in 8 laps? That is going to be a very tall task.
Looking at over 2 seconds a lap right there.
That is going to be a very tall task. Disco Stewart now just has to play the management game. He stayed out longer on his first stint, and that has paid off for him. And I don't think I mean, you have to say, you saw the way Chargers was driving. He was locking up. He was sliding. He was struggling. And the pressure from Disco Stewart just kind of maybe pushed him over the edge there. And there was nothing that... he could do to stop Disco Stewart. So Disco Stewart just closed very quickly, and he got the overtake done. And he really didn't have to use up much of his tires pushing either.
Yeah,
he stays out. So Disco Stewart has committed to going to the end here. I don't think he's lost his window. If he decided to pit, it's over.
Yeah, he's definitely just gotta navigate this lap car. Oh, that's a big moment right there.
Did they touch?
No, the AI lap car
Oh,
just stopped in the apex turn 1 right in front of Stewart, so he
that's
was able to avoid it, but
so
he
Chargers.
lost
Those
some
guys
time.
pit behind, so Chargers freed up now. He doesn't have to make any overtakes. It's a straight sprint to the end here. Chargers has 16 seconds to make up. He's taking 10 out of Disco Stubert's time. This is going to be a very intense finish. There's a very good shot he can get there. If he's 2 seconds a lap faster here, he'll be there by the end of the Grand Prix. And I very well could see him being 2 seconds a lap faster on a fresh set of softs as opposed to a mostly worn set of mediums. So, Disco Stubert, I think last lap was his decision. He had to pit if he wanted to cover off Chargers. It is too late now. Chargers will have cleared him. Even with a lap or two older tire, he's not going to be able to get it done. So Disco Stubert has to stay out now. It is absolutely imperative he does not make any mistakes. He cannot overheat his tires. He cannot afford lockups, and he can definitely not afford any track extensions. He needs to make sure he keeps this clean, because Chargers will be within 3 seconds by the end. If he gets a penalty, he could lose the title here.
Yeah, and even if you're Chargers, you want to try to keep this as clean as possible, so if you do get there and make the overtake, it's not for nothing.
So Disco Stubert at the moment doing enough to keep that gap pretty steady around this one lap here, and as the laps start to diminish, Chargers is running out of time. So if Disco Stubert can maintain a gap for a lap or two here, he may have done just enough at that point to have covered Chargers off. He was taking just tenths a sector out of him, but Disco Stubert has maintained the gap around that lap fairly well, so I think he may have done enough to cover him off here. That one lap could have been enough.
I don't know, I think this is going to be close.
Oh, it's going to be very close for sure. I just don't... I think that there needed to be a bigger chunk of time taken over that last lap there to really... I mean, you're still looking at a 13-second interval here almost. And there's 6 laps to go. 6... Well, 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Chargers, this is the only thing you could have done.
Yeah,
Obviously, you got put in a situation where you were going to get overtaken either way. So, this is a last-ditch kind of desperation move, but this is what you have to do. He gives himself some shot at winning it with this, as opposed to just staying out on an older set of tires.
Yeah, I guess it looked like he wasn't going to make it either. So Iceman's retired. Safety car.
Safety car.
Safety car. Oh. That is awful for Disco Stubert. He has to pit now.
Yeah, he's going to have to jump into the pits.
And I think he will have it covered. With a 14-second interval, Chargers is not going to be able to make up time here under the Delta. So I think Disco Stubert, he has no choice but to pit here. He has to. He will be... Yeah, he's heading in. So Disco Stubert pits. I think 16 seconds is enough for him to resume the lead, though. I don't think he will get robbed by the safety car here, because 20 seconds was about what we saw the gap turn to, and that was under full racing conditions.
So will we see Ethan pit
Chargers
as well?
pits.
Chargers, yes, he's going to pit.
Yeah, good call.
I believe he's got the gap as well.
To Foxhound, I think he will. So it looks like Disco Stubert's been released. I don't think Foxhound...
Especially if he's going to stay out.
Oh, Foxhound's going to clear Chargers
He might
here.
get right in the middle of this.
Nope, Chargers is done for. Foxhound's got him. Because it's catch Q now. I think. So, yeah, I think Chargers just threw it away there. He didn't need to pit. He should have stayed out.
Might even fall back to 4th.
He did, yeah. He's 4th. So Chargers, I think, has pretty much just taken himself out of contention for the title here. Disco Stubert on a fresh set of softs has regained the lead of the Grand Prix. He's looking poised for a championship title here tonight. He's done everything right. The safety car nearly robbed him, but he played it perfectly. His rival, Chargers, pit as well, which in hindsight was an awful decision because he's been cleared by 2 other cars. He did not have the gap he needed. And he was only on 2-lap-old softs. I don't really think it was necessary to go in. How much more of an advantage could you possibly get when we only have 3 racing laps left? That's it.
Yeah, tough call.
I mean, there's still a few laps to go. It's still, you never know, but
yeah,
it looks like he threw it away.
He may have thought that he had a big enough gap to get in and out, still second. Or maybe he thought the guys behind him would have pit with him too, but it's not over yet.
Iceman racing with children. That's a travesty. Someone... Well, that's frustrating, actually. Caused a safety car, too. But, I guess his kid grabbed the controller while he was racing. Because he had his headset plugged into it. His wheel, he's like, I thought my wheel broke. That's super unfortunate. It obviously really disrupted the Grand Prix, too. Because it looked like it was going to be a really, really cool scrap to the end there with Disco Stewart. And, yeah, I think Chargers just had to make a choice on the fly there and wasn't quite sure if he had the gap covered or not. And really, he was off by, like, 16 seconds was enough, but I don't think 10 was. I think he needed, like, 13, 14, roughly.
Yeah, I think that was just a reaction to what Stubert did. He saw Stubert pit, and he figured that he had to do the same thing and just hoped that he would still come out right behind him.
Yeah.
But
I just think you're better off being in second with 10% more tire wear than the guy in front of you, and at least you have a crack at potentially hanging in DRS and then just sending it on the final lap. You never know.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, the only way he's got a shot at this is if he clears Foxhound and
or Disco Stubert gets rear-ended or something, or like there's gonna have to have an incident, and that's really what we don't want to see. I'd prefer to see them fight on track. So at this point, I'd rather just see them finish 1-4 than some sort of disaster for either driver.
Yeah, well, I know everybody across all leagues has been reminded to be aware of championship battles and not to disrupt anything. Obviously, don't pull out just pull out of the way and not rage, but don't do something that's gonna
don't dive bomb the guy in the lead that's about to win the title just because you want a glory shot of you making a dive bomb.
Yeah, that's definitely not something we want.
No, exactly. It's not what you want to see. Oh, hey, bud. My cat is here to watch the battle to the end. Alright, this should be it. I would imagine the safety car will be hitting in this lap. We'll get racing on lap 25, which will leave us with 4 racing laps to go. We've got Disco Stubert in the lead on a fresh set of softs. Chargers in 4th on a fresh set of softs. Chargers must finish ahead of Disco Stubert to win the title. Likewise, Disco Stubert must finish ahead of Chargers to win the title. It's as simple as that. They are deadlocked. Whoever is ahead wins the title. I don't think the safety car is coming in. Oh, no. Lit Romney just got a 3-second penalty. So, no, safety car staying out, I think.
Safety car.
Another safety car?
Oh, I said under safety car.
Oh, yeah, no, it's always bad. They're not very forgiving when you go wide under safety car.
I don't understand why.
I don't know. It's a bit stupid. The whole game has a lot of stupid stuff, though, to be honest.
So the game has decided to extend safety car an extra lap for an AI car.
For Randy Vera to catch up, you think so?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's not him.
No, it's got to be
that
X.
is
He's disconnected, yeah.
Yeah, so... well, for Chargers, that's going to be one less lap that he has to try to...
Yeah.
Put up a fight.
It's good news because the 2 guys between him and Stubert will also be losing a little more tire life as well with the extra safety car lap, and they will have their temperatures down as well. So Chargers might get the advantage he needs here, but at this point, looking pretty good for Disco Stubert. He's going to have 3 laps left. He's going to be able to defend the lead and his championship bid on the line here. Looking sharp. Looking like he's got this in the bag. He really just needs to keep Chargers behind. It doesn't matter what the other guys do. As long as Chargers finishes behind, Disco Stubert will be your Transnation Esports America Series champion. So safety car is in this lap. We are about to get things rolling. The season finale here. There's 3 laps to go. Disco Stubert will maintain pace here. He will control the field, and he will get the race restarted when he sees fit.
So the question is how desperate is Chargers going to get to try to get to the back of Stewart?
We're not even going to get DRS, eh? So I think it'll activate on the final lap, which is not really going to do much. But yeah,
so he's going to have to use.
Chargers is going to have to send it on Tootie. He can't sit behind one car, let alone 2. So he's going to have to send it right away. He doesn't have time.
Yeah. And he's going to have to hope these. It's only 2 laps newer, but he's going to have to hope these tires pay off.
So Stubert just waiting for that safety car to get into the pits. I think he's pretty much ready to go here. He's got those tires worn nicely. Hits the throttle and he gets the race resumed. Here we go. There's 3 laps to go in the title race here. Disco Stubert with the lead. Chargers is closing on Tootie pretty quickly here. He might actually have a crack and an overtake here early in this lap. And that'll be good news for his title bid. He needs to get through. He's right on the tail here of Slim Tootie. Can he get through? Is he going to send it here? He's going to think about it. He does.
Go for it.
He sends it full bore for Chargers, and he's through. He's up into 3rd. He's sending it now for Foxhound.
Foxhound.
Can he catch Foxhound here? He needs to close. Foxhound is hanging on to Disco Stubert, which is good news for Chargers as he can ride that DRS and that slipstream and close a little bit. Actually, they won't have DRS yet, but the slipstream will help. Chargers.
Oh, he's going. He's sending it in hard.
I think he'll send it in the next corner. He's thinking about it. He has to. Disco Stubert driving his heart out in front here. He's burning up that battery, trying to build a gap here. He's already got a 2-second lead. Chargers. Oh, massive lockup for Chargers. He can afford that, though, in those fresh softs, but it is going to cost him a bit of time. He should be much quicker than Foxhound ahead on the mediums. He should not really be struggling to get through here, so just needs to have a couple good corners here and make sure he gets through on this next lap, and then he'll have a crack at Disco Stu perhaps on the final run. Let Romney behind. He's close in on Not Apollo here. Not Apollo close to Slim Tootie. There's a bit of a wobble there for Lit Romney, but looking pretty sharp still. He's actually got a crack at this. May have a shot at an overtake through the first sector here if he can get a nice run somewhere. Let's get back to the front here. Chargers is losing touch with Foxhound. He needs to keep within that DRS. He cannot afford to slip out of that. He has closed back in. Just what he needs here. I think he's just doing a little bit of battery management at the moment, and he's got just enough to still keep that DRS, so this will give him a little bit of a lunge forward here towards Disco Stubert. Oh no, he doesn't have DRS.
Yeah, he'll only have it next lap.
Oh, sorry, DRS, my bad. Yeah, I forgot about the safety car. I was like, how did he not have it? He was within a second. But, yeah, that's got to be hurting.
Time's running out.
Time is running out. He needs to get through here. Foxhound looks like he's struggling a little bit just ahead there. Chargers thinking about sending it maybe. He's close.
Is he going to go for it?
He kind of has to. He needs to be behind Disco Stubert on the final lap. He cannot afford to be behind Foxhound here. And he cuts the corner there to try to save a little bit of time, but I think it's a little too late at this point. Disco Stubert has that gap covered. It's 3 seconds almost now. And just really needs to drive mistake-free, and he's got the title in the bag. Chargers just not able to do enough. We're still on board with him, and we're starting the final lap now. Disco Stubert in the lead. He's got a stranglehold on the title at this point. He really just needs to get around the track without making an error. Chargers is not close enough to really pose a threat at this point. Lit Romney is pressuring Not Apollo still, but I think we got to get to the front here, don't we? Disco Stubert on the final lap of his championship drive here. Sebi was disqualified from the session. I don't know what happened there.
I think said they ignored drive-through penalty.
It's a lap down, I guess. So Disco Stubert now, we're riding on the rear suspension here. looking at the rear suspension. Charger's closing fast on Foxhound, but he's not going to be able to do anything with that. I do not think he's going to get through, so we'll stick with Disco Stewart here, making his way through the second sector here, down the second DRS zone, and Charger's still not through, so Disco Stewart can pretty much just bring this car home, and he secures the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship for the Haas team. It's right on board with Disco Stewart.
That's a penalty for Foxhound. Yeah, second and third racing hard.
Close, but it's not going to be close enough. Here comes Disco Stewart. Let's ride on board. Disco Stewart making his way through the penultimate turn. He's heading down to the final turn. Disco Stewart in the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the Trans Nation Esports Sunday Series, America Series champion. Disco Stewart crosses the line. There's the fireworks. He is your champion for the America Series Sunday night group. Chargers brings it home in second. A valiant effort right down to the wire there. So 1 and 2 for the championship contenders. They finish 1 and 2 appropriately in the championship and on track. Chargers, a valiant effort, a hell of a season. Disco Stewart, your championship winner. You see him atop the podium. There he is, celebrating that victory. He must be elated at this point. We will bring in the top 3 for an interview. That will be Disco Stewart. Sorry. Disco Stewart and Chargers. And then, who was the other one there? Foxhound, right. I was going to say Top Gun. I was like, you're Top Gun. You're Top Gun. Where are the suggestions again? I forgot how to find those. Nope. They're in the party menu. Have to go to the party menu and then go look at invite and then suggested invite players suggested. There we go. Chargers, Disco Stewart, and Foxhound. Let's get those guys in. Let's get ready for a celebration here. Disco Stewart clearly drowning in champagne currently. Cannot find the invite I sent him. And I would assume that poor... Hey! Championship winner! How you feeling? That's got to be an amazing feeling.
It feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. It was, man, the second half of that race was a little bit sweaty.
Oh, yeah. I imagine both of you were sweating buckets. That safety car at the end was extremely difficult. Chargers put in a very odd spot there. Decided to pit and take a chance and ended up getting 2 cars wedged between him and his rival, and it kind of backfired, I think. So, but Disco Stewart, your champion. Chargers just joined the party. He was fighting right down to the wire there. How you feeling, my man? Yeah. 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 Yeah, it was tough. I think he had the gap to you covered with just because of the safety car conditions. I think he would have still cleared you even if you hadn't pit. So I was thinking like, okay, you're still behind with 2 lap older tires. Like you are at a bit of a disadvantage. So we kind of understood the decision to pit, but you obviously got kind of screwed by those 2 cars staying out, and it really just put a wedge into your plans. And ultimately, like what we thought was going to be a very interesting finish, because Stewart was trying to extend those mediums and you were on those fresh softs just taking time out of him, and that safety car really kind of ruined what was a really interesting gap battle. I was wondering if it was going to be able to be managed by Stewart, or if you were actually going to close and then start applying the pressure in the final few laps. But ended up with a bit of a different finish. Overall, though, great Grand Prix. Disco Stubert, congratulations. Any thoughts on the season as a whole and the race this evening? Anything that you want to ask Chargers or point out about the race?
It was a great season racing against you, Ethan. Had a blast. It's nice that one of the nice things I think about this Sunday night, it's very clean racing, at least from what I've seen the entire season. Had some great battles, not only with Ethan, but also with Foxhound and some other guys. So it was a great league to race in, and yeah, I mean, I was sweating at the end, or when Ethan came in and pitted for the softs. So I tried some different stuff in practice about what the gap needed to be for that, and it needed to be about by my calculations, it was about 20 to 21 seconds was a safe area to be in. And when I saw that Ethan had 17 or 18 seconds when he came out of the pits, that really it really made me nervous. I thought, man, there's going to be a battle here at the end, and the safety car came out, and that threw a massive wrench into things. But it was the second half of that race was a stressful one.
Yeah, no doubt. I can only imagine.
And when Ethan came in early, I commentate him for his division in nationals, and between seeing how far he can drag the tires in that and in this league, I was even nervous at that point, because I thought, man, if he can maintain on those mediums for a little bit, then it's going to be tricky for me to catch him at the end. But
yeah,
I was fortunate tonight, and I'm just glad it was a clean race.
Yeah. Top Gun. Feel free.
Yeah, I got a question for Ethan. Was the original plan to go one stop on that set of mediums, or were you always planning to do a two stop? Okay, yeah. So we were kind of debating on whether, because I know that you can stretch tires pretty well, because I watched you do it in Mexico. You went a pretty long way on mediums there, so I wasn't quite sure if you were going to try to do that one stop or two stop. Yeah, that's what we were figuring. And do I have a question for Stuart? No, I don't. I just wanted to congratulate Stuart. Obviously, hard-fought season. The best two drivers went down to the end, so overall, can't really complain about much.
Yeah, honestly, great job, guys. I've obviously only been here 2 races, but what I saw in the last 2 races was pretty impressive. Being able to jump in and just watch a championship scrap go right down to the wire, it's always a really good first impression. So thank you guys for keeping it clean. Thanks for providing some action right to the end there. That was definitely not a boring final Grand Prix by any means. There was plenty of action on track. Anybody have any last questions before I wrap up the broadcast? All good?
I'll say thank you guys for streaming this the past couple of weeks, and I understand Top Gun, you've gone for a little bit longer than that, but thank you guys for stepping up and making sure we had a broadcast for these last couple of races.
Yeah, no problem, man. It would be such a shame to have a championship battle that close, go right down to the wire, and not be able to kind of watch it back just for your own. It's always nice too on YouTube, is that it's always there forever. You can always go back and watch your old Grand Prix and stuff. So no problem stepping up. Not sure what we're looking at for the future here. They obviously reached out to me about joining full time, and I don't know if I can commit to every single week, but probably could fill in here and there and do as many as I could anyway. And we'll see. We'll talk about it, but.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoy doing this, so I'll definitely be doing it next year for whatever day that I'm not racing. So I don't know if I'll be leading the broadcast, because that's not really something that I can do confidently, but yeah, if we get it set up where there's somebody confident enough to lead, and I'm just here to add some comments here and there, I'm definitely willing to do it in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously, we'll talk about that in the Discord channel at some point. But just want to say congrats once more to Disco Stubert. It was a well-driven race to secure that victory and that championship. Chargers, well done, keeping it honest right to the end there. There was, I don't really think your rival could relax at all tonight. It was a really good scrap over the last 2 weeks for you guys as well. So thanks for having me, guys. Going to wrap things up now. This is Transnation Esports. This has been the America Series, this Sunday night group. That was your series finale at Abu Dhabi. Your champion is Disco Stubert, who also claims the Constructors title for the Haas team with his victory tonight. And that will be all for this season. We will catch you next season on the new game. Take care. Good night.